Hello, I'm David, and I'm glad to have you on my channel today. Today, we shall be talking about IELTS reading tests and how to effectively manage your time during the test. But before we proceed, please, can you just subscribe to this channel so that you get to know more videos from this channel? And you can also click the notification button so as to get notified each time I drop a video on this channel. The IELTS test is an international English language proficiency test, and it's divided into different modules based on purpose of taking the test for countries or institutions requirements. Mainly, we have general and academic modules. Either academic or general module, the test is in 4 sections, which are listening, reading, writing, and speaking, with slight differences in reading and writing sections. So when you're writing academic tests, writing is slightly different from that of general tests. The same thing with reading tests in your academic training. Right. Our main focus now is to talk about the reading test, but specifically how to manage the reading test time effectively so that we won't leave any question unanswered. Before we dive into time management in the IELTS reading test, we should take a careful look at the test structure. You need to understand the test structure, how the test is being structured from question types, number of questions, the sections you have, and the passages you have. There are different question types. We have matching headings to paragraphs. We have matching information to paragraphs. We have multiple choice questions. We have matching sentence endings. We have classification question type. We have completion tasks. These completion tasks are in 5 categories. We have notes completion, summary completion, sentence completion, table completion, and flow charts completion. And we have other question types. We have true, false, not given question type. We have yes, no, not given question type. And we have short answer question type. These are all the question types that we have in IELTS reading tests, regardless if it's academic or general. All right. It's important that you know all of these question types. This will give you understanding into how IELTS reading test is structured. In case you want to know more about the question types and technical tips to help you in solving different question types challenges, subscribe to this channel. Click the notification button so that each time I drop any video on any of the question types, you'll get notified and you'll be able to practice the tips that I will be sharing with you. All right. So what about the number of questions that we have in IELTS reading tests? There are 40 questions, okay, in the IELTS reading tests, whether it is the general training or the academic training, right? And these questions, the 40 questions, are divided based, number one, if it's academic, based on the number of passages that you have. For example, in academic, you have 3 passages, okay, mostly, right? So each passage contains or has some questions, and for section 1 or passage 1 now for academic, you have 13 questions. That is after the first passage, which is passage 1 in your academic reading tests, you have 13 questions. After passage 2, you have another 13 questions. And in passage 3, you have 14 questions. So many altogether, 13, 13, 14. That's 40 altogether, 40 questions you have altogether for academic, okay, based on the number of passages that you have. However, for general, it's slightly different. You have the 40 questions divided based on the number of sections that you have. For instance, in general reading tests, section 1 may have more than one passage. Okay, in some cases, you have 2 passages in section 1. Section 2 may have 1, okay, or 2. Section 3 may have 1 or 2. It all depends on the type of test that you have. Okay, but the maximum number of passages you can have for general reading test is 5. In some instances, you can have 4 passages. Other instances, you can have 5 passages to read. But regardless of the number of passages that you have, you still have 40 questions to answer. And of course, the 40 questions are divided based on sections. There are 3 sections in the general IELTS reading test. Section 1, Section 2, Section 3. For Section 1, you have 14 questions. Section 2, you have 13 questions. And Section 3, you have 13 questions. So altogether, you have 40 questions across the 3 sections of the general reading tests that you have. So you can prepare for your tests to ensure that all of these sections and these tips I'm sharing with you are well adhered to. We should look at the time frame now. What time frame are you given for academic reading tests or for general reading tests? The time frame is 60 minutes. Do not forget that you have 40 questions that you're writing. If it's academic, you are having 3 passages. If it is general, you are having 4 to 5 passages. So, and you have 40 questions regardless. You are to answer all these 40 questions in 60 minutes. How do you manage this 60 minutes that you have been given to answer 40 questions? All right. In managing your time effectively, you need to know what you want to do, okay? If you don't know what you want to do, it might be difficult for you to be able to manage your time effectively. That's why I said that you need to know about the question types before you get to the test venue, okay? Before your test date, okay? In your preparation, make sure that you familiarize yourself with the question types in IELTS reading. Having found out about the question types, the first step you need to take now is to use 40 minutes. Okay, when it's time for your real-time tests, make sure that you use 40 minutes for the 40 questions that you are presented. Now, you can't do this without practicing at home on your own. It's important that you practice with these time metrics that I will be sharing with you today. So, the first step is to answer all the 40 questions in 40 minutes. What does this mean? It means that you will use 1 minute for each question. And in your mind, you're asking, would 1 minute be enough for IELTS question? Oh yes, I know. It's possible that you have difficulties with some questions and you may not be able to answer some questions in 1 minute. So what do you do in that case? You leave any question that you can't answer in 1 minute and move to the next question. All right, that will save you time, and that's discipline, managing your time effectively. Okay? So if you can't answer question number 1 in 1 minute, please move on to question number 2. Move on to question number 3, and on and on. And of course, as you are going and as you are leaving behind your questions or some difficult questions, you need to mark them. Okay? So if you come across a difficult question that cannot be answered in 1 minute, mark that question, asterisk that question, or place something around the question to show that you have not answered the question, and to move on to the next question. All right, so until your 40 minutes is exhausted. After that, you have 20 more minutes. 20 extra minutes, right? Use 10 minutes out of the extra 20 minutes that you have. The 10 minutes should be used to address all the difficult questions that you have. So within 10 minutes, I'm sure that you should be able to get answers to all those difficult questions that you have. If you're lucky, maybe you have just less than 10 questions you can answer. If you have 5 questions that you have marked out to be difficult, the 10-minute extras that you are using will help you to have more time to address the questions more carefully this time around. And you might be lucky that the questions will reopen themselves to you. All right. So you now have used 50 minutes out of 60 minutes. So you have 10 extra minutes, right? So the remaining extra 10 minutes that you have, divide to 2. The first section of the minutes, use it for transferring your answers from your question booklets to your answer sheets. All right. So that's you'll be left with 5 minutes. Use the remaining 5 minutes to cross-check your answers, just to make sure that you have not spelled any words wrongly. Right. And if you have cases where you have misspelled some words, you have time to correct your mistakes. Right. So you have to be very careful while transferring your answers to your answer sheets. Okay, because some candidates make mistakes while transferring their answers from the question booklets to their answer sheets. Okay, some people confuse some words and some people mistaken some words for another. So this is important so that you cross-check your answers and be sure that it's what you intended to write that you eventually wrote. All right, so practicing all of this will help you to manage your time effectively during the IELTS reading tests. Okay, it's not something that you wake up one morning to do. It's something you have to practice with every day as you are preparing for your tests. I know some of you have your tests this weekend, some next weekend, some next month, and all like that. Okay, regardless of the time that you have these tests, make sure that you prepare adequately so that you will be able to have your desired and required band score at the end of the day. I wish you all the best. Okay, in my comments box, you can drop me your questions, and if there is any aspect of the test that you are having difficulty with, you can always let me know in the comment section. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so that you can have access to more videos, informative videos from this end. Share this video so that other people can have access to the same benefits that you are enjoying today. All right, don't forget to like this video if you think it's really informative and educative for you. Thank you so much, and